Hello friends, welcome everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a fully stacked application using Angular and as well as Firebase. So Firebase is nothing but a backend as service where you can store the data, and Angular is a client-side client-side JavaScript framework which is used for building UI for your application. Let's start the application without any further delay. Let's what I'm going to do is let's create a new folder called YT, and then let's go inside that folder, so open the terminal, and in order to create a new project in Angular you need Angular CLI. So in order to create an Angular application we need Angular CLI. So you can install that Angular CLI globally using npm-i, and you need to use -g flag so that this particular package will be available throughout your local machine. So we npm install -g and then @angular/cli. So since I already installed this particular package, you can use this command to install it. So it will be installed globally in your local machine. So since I installed it, I am going to quit it. I'm going to terminate the job, and now I'm going to use ng-version to check the particular version which I'm using in my local machine. So it's not double hyphen version. We can give you can type V or just version. So it will show the particular version which I am using in my local machine. So it is using 14 version. So let's create a project. So in order to create a new project you need to type this command ng-new and the name of the project which you are going to build now. So I'm going to type as Todo CRUD. Todo CRUD. So it will install the package. Initially it will ask for do you need Angular routing or not. So I need Angular routing. I'm going to give yes, and I'm going to select SAP SCSS, and it will install the packages which are all required for this particular project. So let's pause the video for now until it gets installed. Alright guys, our application successfully got installed. Now we can open this particular folder in VS Code, and we can see the files which are all created by this Angular CLI. So this is the main module, and we also need couple of packages. So I'm going to open the integrated terminal and install the packages. In order to add the packages, you can use ng add, and then I need Angular material. Since I am going to use Angular material for this application, we will be using couple of modules like dialog boxes and then input. Now, so it is adding. So I need okay, 13 will be installed. Angular material 13 will be installed on our application. So it's getting installed. So it will ask for the CSS which we need. So I will go with the default Indigo pink. I also need to import this globally. Yes, I also need the browser animations. Yeah, it got installed. Now what we can do is we need to import that particular Angular material packages which are already. So I need so let's import them. So I need a dialog box Angular slash material slash dialog. Okay. then I need input, and then I need form field. So I also need button. So we need to import them. Mat dialog module. Also mat input module. Mat form field module. And then mat button module. So we need to, so what will I do? What I will do is I'm going to select these four modules. You can select all of these four modules by pressing Alt and then clicking on them in Windows. So Control C to copy them and paste it over here. So now you need to press Alt key and click at the end to create a semicolon, create a comma there. Form field module. So now open our run our project by using ngserve command, and this -o will what this -o will do is it will open this application in our browser. The -o for open. So this command will build the project and then open in our Chrome. And let's wait for this. You can see this particular angular folder is created by using this ngserve command. So it will create a build folder, and when you are hosting this application, this .angular folder is it is a main thing which runs on your application. So this thing successfully installed. You can see this is the starter template which is there in the Angular routing Angular component.html. So let's remove all of this and add a simple h1 tag which says hello world. So if you see, we have hello world. So let's start building our application. So we need a service for this to do application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a service. So this Angular CLI has set of commands which will help us in creating, instead of creating them manually, this will automatically install them. We have this command g for generate, and then we can type s for service, or else you can type the full name like ser service, and then I'm going to store this in service folder with the name todo. So this will create a service folder, and inside that it will create a todo service. So we have service folder. Inside that we have the todo. So this .ts is for testing purpose. So we can delete it. Don't need them. This is pretty much it. And we also need add component. Like we need to add a to do. So in order to add that to do, we can have a separate component for it. So same thing, like g for generate, s for service here. So we can type c for components. So now instead of service, I'm going to name it as components, and then add to. So this is the component name. So it will create a components folder, and inside the components folder we will have a add to do component. So as you can see, we have components folder. Inside that add to do it, we have this folder, these files. So when we are creating it in our Angular CLI, this Angular CLI will automatically import those package, import these components into our app.module. So if you see here inside declaration, this add to do component was added by the Angular CLI itself. So we don't need to manually add them here. This is the this is very helpful. This Angular CLI is very helpful. Then now what you can do is, so I'm going to inject a Angular service, Angular material dialog service, import from Angular slash material slash dialog. So that service is mat dialog, and then you need to inject that mat dialog. You need to create the object of that mat dialog. So this will be, I'm going to name it as mat dialog. What else? Let's name it as dialog service. Let's provide it here. And what we can do is we can create a button. So let's make a div element. Inside the div element, let's create a button. We can name the button as add to do, and provide the mat button raised button attribute, which is coming from the mat material button button module. So I'm going to give the color attribute as primary. So this will make it as blue color. So let's use this add to do module. Don't all. Let's have this inside our component module. Yeah, we can see the add to do button. And now what we can do is, we don't need this here, so let's copy this inside the app component.ts. So import this here. We need to, so my ID is not importing very good. Let's import it manually. Material slash dialog. Let's update it here. And then what we can have is, we can have a button which opens the dialog. So we can say that we can have a like h1 which says dialog. This dialog. We can add the components later. We can add the data later. So let's create a function like click event here in the add to do. In order to have the events, like in order to work with forms, we need forms module. So let's import that forms module also. Forms module, form module, forms module, and also we need a reactive forms module. Both of these are coming from the Angular forms module. So let's import them. Import them from Angular forms then reactive forms module. So we imported them here, reactive forms module. Okay, module spell machine. So now what we can do is we can have a event, add event, and just add this function in our component in the component.ts file. And what we need to do is whenever we click on that add to function, this should actually open the add to component. Okay, so in order to open that add to component, what we can do is we can use this dialog service to open the dialog component. So we can use the dialog component to open, and then this takes in the component and also some configuration for the dialog component. So we need the add to do component and also the configurations. So configuration sense we can mention the CSS property and also the data which we are going to send from this component to the that dialog component. So I need this to be 400 pixel, and also for now the data will be empty. So let's test it out. So when I click on this, the dialog will actually open. You can see this dialog is coming from this component. Okay guys, what we can do is we can go to the material Angular material documentation and grab some code for this dialog component. Inside this and inside components we will have the dialog thing. Like you can, so if you see they have this like this UI. If I click on pick one, it will show the dialog. If I click no thanks, it will close, and also if I click outside, it will close. So I will copy this code. So I get this code, like the HTML code. So this HTML code, I will copy this code and paste it over here. So this data is coming from the component.ts. So in order to get the data, we need to inject it. So if you go to ts file, they also done the same, like they have injected the data. So let's copy the same. Let's copy the same. Okay. This inject is coming from the core module, regular core module, and import it. Import this dialog data also. This dialog data is just an interface. So let's create this interface. Maybe like we can create the interface here. Interface dialog data, and then the dialog data which we need is id, which should be option, and it is a string, and also we need a number. So not a number, we need name of the title, or maybe you can change it as you wish. So we have the data here, and give the data name to this. So this syntax is like a banana in the box, like it provides a two-way binding for this data. So in the sense, like we will send the data from the component.ts. We are sending the data from here. This data consists of id, which is empty for now, and the name. If I give anything like name, something, some random word, this random word will be reflecting in our name. So let's create this function also. This no click function, what this function will do is, let's create it, like it should actually close that dialog. So in order to close the dialog, we have the close method in the dialog service. Okay, so we have the close method. So this will close the dialog. So here they used mat dialog ref, so we need to use mat dialog ref so that we can get the close method. We should point to this particular when we click on this, we should particularly point to this thing. So you can see like the name which we typed here is reflected here. So when I am clicking, I am passing this name. When I am clicking it, the data, actual data which I am sending here is sent to the add to do component, and this add to do component getting the, like, we are injecting the data, this data, and then we are binding it with our HTML code. So here the uh, ng model attribute which is coming from the forms module, this will ensure that we are like communicating like two ways. So this is called two-way binding. So like let's create a mat dialog ref and then we need to provide the add to component over here. So that's it. Yeah. So this thing has a close method. So this actually, when we click on this on click on no click function, this actually closes the like dialog. So if you click on no click, no thanks, like this will close. That's it. This is pretty much it. Look, we need to change this. Instead of giving the title as hi, I need to be add to do. And also like here you can, I'm going to just mention to do, and also going to make this as to do, and this is name, and this is pretty much it. Like instead of just sending the data, we need to send the whole data from our dialog. So we also add we also need to add something in our like when we are clicking on OK, this mat dialog close attribute will actually send the data. So we need to catch the data in the parent component. So here in the app component.ts, what we can do is we can store this reference in a variable, in the sense like dialog ref. And then what we can do is we can call this ref, and then it will have after closed attribute. After closed attribute is just a observable, so we can subscribe to it, and this returns a response which actually gets the data. Like let's console log it. So log that. So unlog. Let's see it in the browser. Let's inspect it. Go to console. Like when you type something here, let's type it as to do or no, not JS. When you click on OK, this actually like this data is retrieved by the parent component, app component. So we can use this component to send the request to the Firebase backend. So you see, like we get the ID and also the name, Node.js. This is how you get the data from the dialog. Yeah, like let's work with the Firebase now. Now what I will do is let's go to the Firebase console and create a new project. So go to console. Let's add a project. Let's name it as to do and then continue. So if you not, actually Firebase has 12 services. It consists of data storage, file storage, image storages, and also like some other things like testing and data analytics and all. So this you like I don't need these things. I just need only storage for now. So I will disable it and create a project. So this will be created in few seconds. After creating, you will actually get some config files. So what you need to do is you need to copy all those config like config data, like it is a kind of SDK which communicates with the Firebase. So you need to provide this data in your Angular project so that that Angular front end application will communicate with the Firebase. So now this phone successfully got installed, and like you need to create a web app for now. So since we are working with the web applications, if you are working with Android or iOS, you can create your projects here. So I'm going to click on web app and give the same name to do. And if you want Firebase hosting, you can check this checkbox and then go ahead, register this app. I don't need for now, so register this app. So after registering this, you will get the SDK, like you will get the config data which you need in your front end so that it will like communicate. So we get this data. You can copy this, or I will show another way how can like how you can get the data when you go to the project viewer. You have this to do, right? So here you have one app which we created now, the to do. You can go to the settings. Underneath you will have the config. So if you need this data, this key value pairs data, which is the which like it will this will actually connect with your Firebase backend. So in order to work with your Firebase, we need some npm package, like we need Angular Fire. So install that npm I at Angular slash fire. Let's install this here. And after installing, what we need to do is we need to copy this config config data into this JSON file. We inside environments we will have environment production and environment.ts. So we can use this. So this is a JSON. So you can copy it here and save this, and same do the same in the productions also. Like, so that's it. Like so, so you need to do this way, and also you need to import uh, the modules from the Firebase. So we need to import the Firebase packages, and we need to initialize the app with the config data. So import the modules fire slash, and this Angular modules will be inside the compact folder, and we will have the. So first we need to have the Angular Fire module, and with the help of this Angular Fire module, we need to initialize the app. So this Angular Fire module will have the initialize app method, and we need to pass the config data from the environments folder. So we have this. So environments, and inside environments folder, inside environments file, we have the Firebase config. So Firebase config is the thing we need to provide here. So this actually makes a connection with the backend with the Firebase, and we are going to use a Firestore. So in order to use the Firestore, uh, we need to get started with the Firestore. Go to the Firestore database and click on Get Started, Create Database, and here it will ask you whether you need to start this in production mode or in test mode. I need this for in test mode. So this data will be deleted within 30 days. Like after 30 days, this data won't be available. So if you want to make this available, you need to start this in production mode. And click on next. So click on the location, choose as your wish. So this will actually create the Firestore database for us. Let's wait for this to create. So this got successfully created, and we need to import the Firestore module also. So let's import the Firestore modules. This Firestore is actually available in compact slash Firestore, and import the Angular Firestore module. Angular Firestore module, and import that inside this imports. That's it, guys. So we have imported this Angular Firestore. Now go to the services. Yesterday, we have created the service. Inside service, we have to do service. So we can have four functions, like create to do, and then we need to like delete the to do, read the to do, fetch to do, or else read, as your wish, and then we need to update the to do. So since we have initialized the Firebase app, we can use a Firestore service. So we need to import that service from the same Angular Fire compact Angular slash Fire slash compact slash Firestore. And this Firestore module has Angular Firestore service. So we can inject that service. So we can create an object for that Firestore with service is Angular Firestore, and then we can use this service to create a to-do for now. Let's so we can have a we will be getting the to-do data. So we will be getting the to-do data. Okay. What we can do is we have created a interface in the dialog component. So we can name this as to do and export it. Export this to do. So export this to do. Instead of giving the name as dialog data, we can give it as to do, and then we can use the same to do here also. So this will be imported from the add to do component, and then in here what we can do is we have the ID. So with the Firebase Firestore service, it has a create ID method, which actually automatically creates an ID, and what we can do is we can return like by creating a collection. So I'm going to name this collection as to do, and I'm going to add this data which I am getting from the create to do function. So I'm going to send this to do. So in order to get this service, we need to inject this service inside our app component.ts. So inject that service here, private to do service. So import the to do service. So that's it, guys. Like when we are getting the when this is closing, we will get the data. So when I'm getting the data, I need to check if there is response. If there is response.name, then I need to call this service to do service, and I need to call the create to do function which actually takes the to do. So this is the res. Res will have both the ID and the name. Mm, and I'm going to like this, since this is a promise, I'm going to wrap it in thin and catch block. So this will get the same response. So let's have it as to do, and then let's console log this to do. So let's try this out. So click on inspect and check whether it is creating or not. So when you click on add to do, I need to create a to do called learn Angular. Let's click on OK. This actually creates the data in the Firestore, as you can see. So if you go to Firestore and refresh this collection, Firestore database, so this will actually create a to-do collection, and inside the to-do collection we will have the documents. So let's see. Yeah, you can see we have the to-do collection, and inside the to-do collection we have a document with the ID, this ID, and it has this ID as well as name. Okay, ID as well as name. Okay guys, we have a small issue here. So this ID which we are generating is not like same as this ID which is generated by the Firebase. So what I will do is I will delete this ID, and I will also I don't create any ID here. So let's check. Let's create a new one, Node.js, and then click OK. Now let's check. Let's check. We have name Node.js and the ID will be this is the ID. So let's get data. Let's fetch data. So we can fetch data using. So we can return the data. Return this dot fire service, and then we can mention a collection where from where we need to get the data to do, and then like we have a few methods. We have value changes and snapshot changes. These snapshot changes will return an observable, so we can subscribe to these observables. In order to use this fetch data, we need to call this function in our Angular app component.ts, and this function should render whenever this app component is rendering in our UI. So what this does means is like, so Angular have some lifecycle hooks which will render only when that particular component is rendering in the DOM. So we can implement this on init interface, and this on init interface has this on init function. This is the function which will cause like we can fetch data whenever this component is running. So we can call this function, the fetch function, inside this on init. So we can call the fetch function, and we need, since this returns as observable, we need to subscribe to this, and it returns to do's. So to do's, and we can console log the response for now. Okay, to do's. If you see, since it is rendering, like you can see we are getting the data. So this is an array, so we need to map through it to do dot map, and then it returns a data. Since it is coming from the Firebase, it has some structure. So let's console log. So we need an ID and the data. So let's console log the ID. So data ID will be stored in the payload, payload dot dog dot id. So we need the id and also the data dog dot payload dot dog dot data. So let's see what is coming. Let's see. As you can see, this is the id and the name is Node.js, and this is the id and the name is learn Angular. As you can see, this is the id, this is the id, and the name is Node.js. Okay. Uh, so so in order to store these, we created a list which is of type to-do list. To do, like, we can create the interface that is the type of this to-do list. Like, okay, so instead of console logging this, we need to push this data into the to-do list array. So we can push it. Let's have a let's name this as to item, and then make this as data, and get the data here, to do item dot payload dot dog dot data, and then we have, and then we need to store the id which is coming from the payload dog dot payload dot dog dot id, and we need to return it. Need to return this thing. So id is id, and then I'm going to destructure the data and send it as an array. So let's name this as data itself. Data should to, okay. Since like it doesn't know what is the data, we can mention the interface to do interface. So this will be returned, and we can store this data, the return data, into the to-do list array itself. So that's it, guys. So we are getting this to-do list, and like this is stored inside the to-do list. Now we can use this to-do list inside the app component. So we have the ng-for directive. With the help of that ng-for directive, we can map through the to-do list array. ng-for, then let to-do of to-do list, which we created now, to-do list. So it will map through this thing, and let's have a like another list, and this will print a, okay, instead of making this as table, make this as an another list for now. So we will tag, going to use interpolation to get the data from the to-do dot name. So I'm going to render this. Let's see what is coming. Yeah, you can see Node.js and Learn Angular is coming from the Firebase. So, and also this is like a demo application. I won't be much focusing on the CSS part. We can cover the CSS part later. Yeah, let's have a click event over here, or else we can have the icon module. So let's import the icon module from the material icons. So mat icon module, icon module. My ID is not recognizing, so let's import it manually. Okay. Icon module. Yeah. This got imported. What we can do is we can use that mat icon. Yeah, we can use that mat and I'm going to use edit. So wait, let's see. So, yeah, we have this edit icon, and also I need a delete icon. So I also need this delete icon. Yeah, we got this too. So when I click on edit icon, this should open the dialog box, and we need to get the this particular name, and we can edit the name. Let's have this. We have a click event. Okay, let's have a click event. Let's have a click event on edit. Let's have a on edit function for this click event and use it over this app component.ts, and let's add it underneath the add. So it will get the item. So let's console log the item. Console.log item. So it is of type to do. So inside the this is getting a to do, so we can pass the to do here itself. We can pass the to do, and yeah, let's like when we click on the edit button, edit icon, this should console log this particular item. Yeah, it's console logging this name node.js. So what now we can bind this data with the this particular like this dialog reference. So we can copy the same code and paste it over here. Instead of sending the name as empty, we can send the item itself. Item. You can send the item itself, and when we are console like when we are closing the closing the dialog, we will get the response. Instead of creating the to do, we need to update the to do now. So let's go to the to do service, and let's create a update to do service, update to do function, which actually takes the to do, and it should return the updated to do. This dot first file service dot collection to do, then dot doc this will be the id to do dot id dot update the item which you are sending now, the to do. Okay, so this will be updated. This will update and it will return the promise. So we can wrap it in dot then and dot catch in the app component.ts. So instead of creating a to do, we can call the update to do, and let's see whether it is getting updated or not. Like when I click on the edit icon, the dialog should open. The Node.js should come here. Why it is not coming? Let's check. Yeah. So let's like destructure this. Yeah. Let's click on edit. Yeah, we got the Node.js. Instead of Node.js, I need this to be just node, and click on OK. Yeah, node got successfully updated. And also we need to delete this. When I click on delete, this should actually delete the node, delete this particular component. So let's create a delete to do, and this actually takes the to do id which is a string. This is of type string, and we can use the same thing. You can use the same thing. Like instead of mentioning Todo ID, we can type this as ID .id. So instead of updating, we need to delete this. So okay, let's have it as to do itself. Let's pass the to do itself. Let's pass the to do itself, and let's see. Let we need to call that on delete function. This also takes the item to do, and now what we need to do is, instead of calling the update service, now we need to call the delete to do service dot delete to do, and this also returns a promise. So this doesn't it need an argument, so pass the item here. So it doesn't return anything, so I'm not going to wrap it in dot then on dot catch. Let's call this on delete function in the HTML near the delete icon. Click on the delete function. This takes the to do argument. Yeah. Okay, let's check whether it is deleting or not. It is getting deleted or not. Yeah, this got successfully deleted, and this is pretty much it. Like the main purpose of this video is to show you how you can work with the Angular and the Firebase. So I want to show you guys how you can connect with the Firebase from the front end Angular. So so thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and also leave a like. Thank you.